So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another rebuild challenge, and today we have the No Trade Finder rebuild. So this one is pretty much as self-explanatory as it gets. The goal is to obviously win a championship, and the challenge we have to kind of endure throughout this rebuild is that we cannot use the Trade Finder at any point in time. So obviously this isn't the hardest challenge in the world. Really, the only times that we're going to run into some serious issues are the times that I have some lower end bench players that typically I could just trade for a first round pick. That might end up being a little bit harder, along with that maybe filling out the bench, but this isn't the hardest one in the world, but I did get a request to do it. We're obviously ending the cycle of 2K23, get a couple last rebuild challenges in, so I'm hoping you guys are looking forward to this one today, and I definitely am. And as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I will tell you guys this, I'm recording this one on Tuesday night. The first 2K24 rebuild will be out on Thursday. You're seeing this on Wednesday, and I will probably still by that point not have my team picked out for the first rebuild of 2K24. So instead of giving me ideas for 2K23, let me know who you want me to do first in 2K24. Seems like a fitting idea, and I'm only saying that because I already know tomorrow's video anyways, the final rebuild of 2K23. So, yeah, man, if you guys have a team you really want to see in 2K24, let me know down below in the comment section. I obviously am not really particular to who the hell comes first, so let me know down below. We do have to do a couple more rebuilds here in 2K23, though, so let's get into this one. As I mentioned, we're going to be doing this one in a fantasy draft style, which obviously means we need to go ahead and select a team. So we'll go to this, and we will scroll through randomly. I will close my eyes, and we will stop here and select a team in 3, 2, 1. We end up with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I did remember to turn off previously traded draft picks, so every team has their own original picks. It makes sense for a fantasy draft. And you know what? I actually got a request to do this. Somebody said, if you do another fantasy draft or something along the lines of this, can you go ahead and can you maybe make a couple picks? Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. We'll make a couple today. I have no idea who we're going to have or what pick we're going to have. Oh boy, it is not a good one. Holy shit. All right, so we're definitely going to have some options here. If we take a look at kind of who's gone so far, really not a ton of surprises here with the talent that is ahead of us, but obviously there are some players that we would not mind picking up here. So my first thought is either going after maybe Darius Garland, and don't get me wrong, I love Jaylen Brown, but I did have him in yesterday's video. Hopefully that's not a spoiler alert. Is there any way, did Anthony Edwards already get drafted? Because if, oh my God, he didn't. I think Anthony Edwards has to be my pick. He progresses really, really well. Obviously still on that rookie contract for another year, I think. This feels like the pick for me. I don't know. Maybe it'll be the wrong pick in the long run, but for now I'm excited to have him. We're going to make one more pick here. Obviously we have our shooting guard, small forward, wherever you want to play Edwards, kind of lined up at this point. In terms of our next pick, I'm honestly thinking Jalen Brunson. Just solidify that backcourt. Obviously still relatively young and only 26 years old. Also could go Mikal Bridges, but his shot tendencies are really weird in this game. It's actually really disrespectful. But nonetheless, I think I'm going to go ahead and you know what? I'm going to take Jalen Brunson. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to make 2 picks. That's it. I'll see you guys with the rest of this team. So obviously we made 2 picks. We drafted Jalen Brunson. We drafted Anthony Edwards. Taking a look at the rest of this roster, we have Trey Murphy. We have Cole Anthony, Jaden Hardy, Isaac Okoro, Darius Baisley, Zeke Naji, Charles Bassey, Aaron Wiggins, Miles McBride, Kai Jones, Wendell Moore Jr., and Sekou Doumbouya. That is not a name I've heard in a minute. I want to give the 2K kind of simulator, the CPU, I want to give them credit because they drafted me a lot of young players, which is good. I like doing that in fantasy draft rebuilds. I mean, the oldest player on this team, I believe, is Jalen Brunson. Yeah, and the second oldest player is Aaron Wiggins at 23. Absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the youth movement, especially here in these fantasy draft rebuilds. So we might have a trade or 2 on the horizon. Obviously, we do have 3 years, so we don't have to win it year 1, but it would be cool to be competitive. So I might have a trade or 2. Obviously, cannot use the trade finder, so it might be a little bit more challenging, but we'll see what we can come up with here. I have absolutely no idea why Sekou Doumbouya has 2 stars. Kai Jones has 2 stars as well. And Nick Claxton would be a clear upgrade at the center spot, and he only has 3 stars. So I'm doing this one 10 times out of 10. I don't know if they're going to take it. I do not have like the typical treasure trove of assets in terms of draft picks that the Thunder actually have. Obviously, with a fantasy draft, you only really have your own picks. So I'm going to try to make this go through. I'd rather not give up a first. Obviously, I think I probably would to get a really good center, Nick Claxton, but yeah, how about a first in 2024? I'll do our first, not this year, but next year. And they do take that. All right, which means we have our center probably for the entire video here in Nick Claxton. That is absolutely great. I'm fine with Trey Murphy for year one. I'll probably play Najee behind Claxton, or maybe try to figure out if I can get a pick for Bassey, but if not, he's on a multi-year deal. In terms of the point guard spot, we have a really good sixth man here in Cole Anthony. Definitely do not mind him kind of leading that second unit off the bench. Obviously, Ant here at the 2. And then the small forward spot, I don't hate Isaac Okoro or hate him starting, number 5 overall pick back in 2020. Really hasn't panned out as a number 5 overall pick, traditionally would. But again, I think there is a little bit of potential there, a little bit of an upside, so we're going to see how this kind of works out. But in terms of trading anybody else, like Miles McBride, is he expiring? He's not. So he has another year after this, which means I'll keep him. Is anybody like fully expiring? Aaron Wiggins? Nope. Wendell Moore? Nope. Okay, so nobody's really expiring, and honestly, it's just going to be more of a headache to try to trade for somebody right now. So I don't know how good we're going to be this year. We could be good. We could suck, but we do have our draft picks, so we're not really worried about it. But that's going to be our one and only trade. Let's set this rotation. We decide that one trade is good enough for year one, and honestly, I'm kind of liking the way and kind of the situation that this team is in right now. Obviously, we don't have that kind of 90-plus overall superstar. Obviously, we have the potential here with Anthony Edwards, but as a group, we are a very young team. Typically, younger teams do well in 2K. I'm hoping today's no exception, and honestly, I think we have the talent to make a little bit of a playoff run, so who knows if 2K agrees with me or not. If we end up sucking because we're young or this team doesn't fit or whatever it may be, obviously we have our draft pick as well. But Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, absolutely incredible backcourt. We have a Coral here at the 3, Trey Murphy at the 4, and newly acquired Nick Claxton locking down that center spot. The bench unit is decent, I will say that. It's not great. It's not really good. It's decent. Cole Anthony going to lead this second unit, followed by Jaden Hardy, Darius Baisley, Zeke Najee, and Aaron Wiggins. Unfortunately, Charles Bassey, I just don't really need a third center right now, and he is on a multi-year deal, as I mentioned, so maybe he's either in a trade this offseason or he comes in, he's our new backup center. Whatever it may be, we will figure it out, but this is the group for now, and yeah, quite honestly, I have 4 minutes. Did I take minutes? Oh, I took the minutes away from Jalen Brunson. But this is the team for now. I'm excited to see how it kind of works out. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. We have a pretty decent first season here in OKC. We go 53-29 on the year. And quite honestly, I will take that. That's a really solid kind of foundation, kind of building block. And hell, maybe we're true contenders this year. Time will tell. Luka Doncic is your MVP. He is in Sacramento. Could have ended up a Sacramento King in real life, but the Sacramento Kings and Marvin Bagley had other plans. Paolo Banchero's your Rookie of the Year. He's in Milwaukee. Christian Wood, 6-man in Chicago. Miles Turner's your D-Boy in D.C. Şengün, Most Improved in Indiana. Tibbs is your Coach of the Year. Good God. All right, let's dive into the playoffs. It appears we're the 2 seed right here. Let's take a full look at the standings right now. 53-29, as I mentioned, good enough for that 2 seed. I will take it, and yeah, here's a look at the East. If you want to pause, feel free. All right, let's dive into some numbers. I imagine Edwards had a really good year. He did. About 28 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.5 steals a game, half a block. 3 turnovers is tough, but I'm sure his usage rate is high. And yeah, about 52% from the field. How do you shoot from 3? About 39%. 38%, excuse me. We got to work on that a little bit, but it is what it is. Jalen Brunson, Cole Anthony as a 6th man was our 3rd leading scorer. You'd love to see it. Trey Murphy, Nick Claxton, Hardy, Okoro, Baisley. Yeah, we're going to have to see what we want to do with some of these starters because obviously Murphy and Isaac Okoro aren't really going to be a 3rd kind of viable scoring option for this starting lineup. Obviously, Claxton isn't either, but he's not in the starting lineup to score the basketball, but we all kind of know that. But we're going to have to figure something out, and we will do that. In terms of rebounds, it was obviously Claxton, and the assist was Jalen Brunson. So we have a first-round matchup here with the 7-seeded Dallas Mavericks. D'Angelo Russell, Kyrie Irving, Lauri Markkanen, Jabari Smith Jr., Jakob Poeltl. It's a pretty decent team, especially for a play-in team. And is it possible we maybe pull it off and win a round 1 matchup? I think that would be a great kind of start to this video. And we do end up winning in 5. A little bit of a gentleman's sweep, if you will. Moving on to the Lakers. Mike Conley, Mikal Bridges, Kawhi Leonard, Draymond Green, Clint Capella, Al Horford. That makes me want to puke. Brickleberry Simmons coming off the bench. Got Chris Dunn. It's actually some pretty good defense right there. Even Horford as well. All right, this, oh my God. Oh, I didn't even realize. This is an insane defensive team. This actually might be one of the best defensive teams I've seen in 2K. Wow. That's insane. They probably score like 92 points a game, but that's absolutely insane. That's a really, really good team right there. And we're down 3-0. I mean, I'm not really surprised. We're a very young team. That's a lot of veterans and a lot of good defense. Really doesn't surprise me, but good for the Lakers. It is going to be Luka and the Kings taking on SGA and the New York Knicks here in the NBA Finals. Feel free to pause. You got Melo back in a New York Knicks jersey. Oh, man. And here's a look at the Sacramento Kings. I'm pretty sure they had like the first or second pick because that's the lowest Luka goes. Let's sim this. And the Knicks sweep an SGA in a 4-game series, averages 41 points, almost 6 rebounds, 8.5 assists. God damn. All right, it is time for the offseason. Udonis Haslem calls it a career. CP3 calls it a career at 38. Interesting. Here are some other guys here. I see a couple Hall of Famers. Pop calls it a career. Hall of Famer Chris Paul. I could see Rondo maybe sneaking in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. It could be my Celtics bias. Same with Kyle Lowry, honestly. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. Like, the requirements to get in are not very high. All right, let's hit the draft lottery. We're not going to have anything here because obviously we didn't trade for any picks and everybody has their own draft picks. Let's just see the results. It is the Clippers, the Sixers, the Blazers, the Bucks, and the Houston Rockets. All right, so let's do staff signing. Mark Daigneault's obviously our coach. He has some pretty decent ratings. Although we did lose in the Western Conference semifinals, I'm not really upset at that loss. We're a super young team, and obviously that Lakers team was insane. So Mark Daigneault, I would say you succeeded overall as the year kind of went on, and quite honestly, you have decent ratings. So that being said, if I do put together like an insane team and we come up short, or what I consider coming up short, maybe we move on then. But for now, Mark's here to stay. Let's head up to the draft. We do have the 27th overall pick. Obviously, I'm not going to actually use the trade finder. I'm just kind of seeing what we have here. And yeah, I mean, in terms of players we could maybe move, I'm not really wanting to move anybody here. I mean, maybe Bassey, maybe Wendell Moore Jr., but that would only be to maybe move up some spots in the draft. So could try to go out and get somebody that could improve this bench a little bit. This is obviously the 2023 draft class. Obviously, there's not a roster that you can kind of use. Well, hear me out. There is a roster. I could use a custom roster, have the 2023 rookies in the game, but I can't jump ahead a year. So it would be like the 2023 draft class is actually 24. You know what I'm saying? Might as well just have them here as an actual draft class. That's not important. What is important is me trying to move up in the draft. I'm going to check out who has what pick. I might try to move up to number 5 here with Houston, maybe even 6 with the Heat. Just kind of see what options are available for me. So let's just take a look. I'll actually try 6 with the Heat. I think that makes a little bit more sense. I'll do 27, and then how about if I throw you Charles Bassey? And then how about if I also give you Wendell Moore Jr.? Would you have any interest in doing that? They do not. I have a couple seconds. I'd rather not give up any more first. I don't want to do it. All right, so we're just going to go kind of back in order. I'm going to find whoever has number 7. It's actually the Wizards. They don't take that. And then we're just going to go back until somebody accepts it. I mean, obviously, we'll get there eventually. So number 8 overall is owned by the... I have no idea. It is the Chicago Bulls. They take that. All right, so at number 8 in the draft, I do not know exactly what it is going to be. Brandon Miller actually went number 1 ahead of Victor Wembanyama. Look at the Clippers screwing up something else. Scoot Henderson's obviously gone. Funny enough, ended up in Portland. Both the Thompsons went Bilal Coulibaly, Jarris Walker. And everybody else here is kind of, honestly, we have some options. We have some options here. If I'm thinking positionally, we're kind of good at the point guard spot. Maybe a new backup small forward, maybe Grady Dick or Anthony Black. These are definitely some solid options. Why is Grady Dick ranked 55th and 51st? That's kind of crazy. Cam Whitmore's here. Jaime's here. Chris Murray, Derek. I mean, we have options. Obviously, there is definitely some guys here that we could take. Could also go Taylor Hendricks, but you know what? I'm going to go Anthony Black. Anthony Black's going to be my guy. Welcome to the team. All likelihood will be my backup small forward the remainder of the video. He's a 76 overall, not 67. We're bringing back everybody here on their team options. Darius Baisley, I'll qualify. $6 million. I don't know. Could be fair market value. Obviously, this free agency class is not great. We potentially have a trade on the horizon. I'll see you guys with that move. Okay, we just pulled off a big trade with the Lakers, and we added Mikal Bridges to this team. I didn't talk because I didn't think it was going to go through. It was Miles McBride, Isaac Okoro, Aaron Wiggins, 2 first-round picks, and Zeke Naji. So we definitely paid a hefty price to add Bridges to this team, but I think he's a really good addition, both defensively, and I think he's going to really fit well with Brunson and Edwards. So in terms of who's going to play small forward between Bridges and Edwards, really just depends on the overall. There's no jump in terms of the actual overall there. There's really not for both of them. So Bridges is 2 inches taller. We'll move him to the small forward spot. I don't think it's really going to affect too much, but very, very exciting to add another player. I think he's a clear-cut upgrade over Isaac Okoro. And I'm really excited to see how he kind of fits with this team. Obviously, drafting Anthony Black will be his backup. We're good with Hardy and Edwards. We're good with Brunson and Anthony. We do have to figure out some new backup big men, though. So let's look at our options here in free agency. Wow, we actually have money? Holy shit, we have money. Which means I can make an offer for Kristaps Porzingis. I actually didn't really think we would have money. Darius Baisley is like our 1 free agent, but honestly, Porzingis in the starting 5 would be great. I'd love to add him to this group. So let's make a max offer here for Porzingis. I'm going to give him a player option as well. Does he have some offers right now? No real offers. So fuck it. Let's go out and let's sign Kristaps Porzingis. I'm not going to fuck around. I want to try to get him on the team. Will he accept that? He will. I guess I honestly didn't realize we had so much cap space just because we obviously had a relatively young team. But Porzingis is going to start. I mean, I was planning on starting Trey Murphy, but Porzingis works too. All right, let's figure out a new backup center. Our options are not going to be great here, and obviously it's going to be a little bit more challenging if we kind of do what I typically do sometimes, a little bit cheesy, go out and sign somebody and then trade them because I can't use the trade finder. So, I mean, if I want to do that, I mean, maybe I sign like a Seth Curry. Wouldn't mind that. I mean, I obviously have to be somewhat careful here just because, again, I can't get too ahead of myself. And Enes Freedom, fucking lunatic. All right, so let me look for centers. I mean, just like hypothetically, how much money did I just pay Curry? He's making like what? What is that, $5.5, $6 million a year? And I gave you, what, $1 million? So we got to look at centers making like, I don't know, $6 million. And obviously, I don't have a lot of assets either. So I got to be kind of careful here. In terms of who I try to go out and get. I mean, obviously, there's not going to be a ton of options. Like, Precious Achiuwa, is that a possibility? Like, Seth Curry. I'll also give you Enes Freedom. All right, cool. All right, welcome to the team. Achiuwa. He's going to be the backup to Claxton. Other than that, this team's insane. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. So you take a look at this starting 5, and you're going to see 488 overalls. Absolutely awesome to see. We've significantly improved this team, and I think our title chances are much, much better. It's going to be Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards still in the backcourt. New addition here in Mikal Bridges at the 3. New addition here in Kristaps Porzingis at the 4. Nick Claxton still locking down that starting center spot. The bench unit got a little bit better, right? Between Anthony Edwards' progression, obviously moving Trey Murphy to the bench, the addition of Precious Achiuwa, Jaden Hardy not really developing a ton, but still a really young, promising player, and then the drafting Anthony Black. I'm really excited to see how this team kind of fits together. So I really do think the sky's the limit. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. 61-21 is the record here in year 2, as Nikola Jokic in a Detroit Pistons jersey is your MVP. Man, that just, it looks weird. Like, there's some guys that like look really good in other teams' uniforms. Nikola Jokic in a Pistons jersey is not one of them, or at least that Pistons jersey. No disrespect meant, but hell of a season. Victor Wembanyama's your rookie of the year, went second overall, as you saw, because the Clippers fucked up and didn't take the generational talent first overall. Scoot Henderson, 6th man of the year, is in Portland. Robert Williams, the 3rd, is your DPOY. Shaden Sharp, most improved. Mark Daigneault, coach of the year for us. So obviously that is great, and I'll take that 1 seed all high and well. We just got to go out and we got to perform in the playoffs. It's kind of the name of the game, but best record in the league, obviously awesome. So here's a look at the numbers. Obviously, some things are going to be a little bit different. We've added some major additions to this team that are going to change up the scoring. So Ant's numbers go down a little bit. He's still our best player. I fully stand by that take, even if he's not our highest overall. So good to see that. In terms of rebounds, it was Claxton, and an assist was Mr. Jalen Brunson. Who's going to be? Round 1 is going to be the Portland Trailblazers. Cade Cunningham, Devin Booker, Hunter, Bagley, Gafford. They drafted Henderson to come off the bench. Matisse Thybulle there as well. That is not the easiest first-round matchup in the world. It's a good one. I will say that. We do end up sweeping, though. Okay. Denver here in round 2. Jordan Poole, Tyler Hero, Jason Tatum, Jared Vanderbilt, James Wiseman. Interesting. I'm wondering how they got Tatum, Hero, and Poole. Because I'm assuming Tatum was probably drafted anywhere from, like, I don't know, 5 through 10 if I had to guess in a fantasy draft. So maybe they went Hero and then maybe Poole like right after. I don't really know. Nonetheless, I'm hoping we can beat this team. I will say confidently they have the best player in the series, but we're just the better team. I think that's kind of the name of the game. We win in 5, and we were taking on Luka Doncic and the Sacramento Kings, who I'm pretty sure won it all last year. Did they win it all? No, the Knicks won it all last year. The Kings were just in the finals, but good team nonetheless. Similar to the round before, definitely have the best player in the series, but I do think we're the better team. We go up 3-1, and a very similar result. We win in 5. We are going to be taking on Joel Embiid in the Atlanta Hawks here in the second round. Look at Embiid getting out of the second round. Markelle Fultz, I meant the finals, the second round. Well, I said we're facing him in the finals. I meant look at Joel Embiid getting out. I'll shut the fuck up. Fultz, Daniels, Michael Porter Jr., Sadiq Bey, Joel Embiid. So you got Fultz and Embiid kind of back teaming up, if you will. It was an interesting time in the Sixers franchise, and we're just down 3-0. I mean, that's just less than ideal. We are battling back here a little bit, but man, oh man. I mean, that's just, I'm surprised. They have the best player in the series, no doubt, but interesting. It looks like we're forcing a Game 7, so back to Oklahoma City we go, and can we pull off the miracle comeback? I mean, is that a possibility? It looks like we're going to do it. Wow. I did not have it in the cards to come back from being down 3-0 today, but hell, man, I will take it. We got a couple shots up. We'll see you guys in there. Wow. 3:22 left to go here in Oklahoma City. We are on the verge of coming back down 3-0. First time in NBA history, I believe that would have ever happened. I don't think it's ever happened in NBA history. Because the Celtics would have been the first team to do it this year if they had come back and they had beat the Heat. Obviously, that didn't happen. Sad. All right, though. But, I mean, this is it. I mean, obviously, this game is pretty much over, and we know we're going to be winning a championship in year 2, so challenge complete. Obviously not the hardest rebuild challenge in the world, but it's definitely good, and it feels good. Get a championship in one of my last rebuilds here in 2K23. So, yeah, man, I mean, I guess I can just kind of shoot the shit right now in terms of what I'm looking forward to in 2K24. Obviously, as I do every year, I'm going to kind of start off the probably first, like, couple weeks or so with just kind of normal kind of team rebuilds. We're not really going to go ahead and kind of get into any, like, serious challenges for probably at least a couple weeks. I definitely want to get a lot of just the normal rebuilds out of the way because I try to have all those done before the NBA season actually starts. I think it's smartest to do that. That's how I've pretty much always done it, and I'm going to try to continue to do it like that. But I have no idea who's coming first. I've done the Lakers a lot in the years past. I wouldn't mind switching it up, but honestly, if it ends up being them again, I won't really care too much. So if you guys have anybody you really want to see as my first team I rebuild in 2K24, let me know. Also, obviously, the game comes out midnight on Thursday, or well, midnight Friday, but Thursday night at midnight, or you know what I'm saying. But I'm not going to post a video then. It's going to be Friday morning. I'm old and I have a real job, and I'm not staying up that late to 1, record, 2, edit, 3, let the video render, and then 4, upload and make sure there's no mistakes. I'm not waiting up that late. Years ago, I did. Obviously, don't really have that juice anymore in terms of a little past my bedtime. As I mentioned, I'm a little old these days. God, I'm 23 and I'm saying that. That's sad. Nonetheless, though, man, I am looking forward to 2K24. It's going to be an awesome year. Really, really liking how the direction of this channel is kind of going, if you will. So, final possession here. We're going to do one more offensive possession. Obviously, up 25. We're not really terribly worried about anything. Can we just hit a Jalen? Oh, God, he has a fast release. I was going to say, can we just hit a Jalen Brunson 3? We don't. I want to end it on a good note. I want to end it on scoring the basketball. Just score. Just shoot. Michael, just shoot. Seriously? Just shoot. I don't care. Thank you, Michael Porter Jr. Never swinging the rock. Makes sense, though. I didn't cover him. All right, final possession here. Let's go to Ant, obviously the best player on this team. And can we just dunk on a motherfucker? Oh, my God. I'll see you guys at the finals MVP. We end up being the first team in NBA history to come back from being down 3-0 and win it all, and Anthony Edwards is your finals MVP. Once again, assuring that we made the right draft pick at the start of this video. So there's a look at the retired players. If I had to go off the top of my head about who here makes the Hall of Fame, it's probably the majority of the guys listed here. Honestly, just because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not just the NBA Hall of Fame. Like, all basketball accolades pretty much are included. Not Batum and Rubio, I don't think, but maybe Rubio. I don't know what he's done overseas. He said the same thing with Batum. But obviously Melo, Dwight Howard, yes. Iggy, yes. Al Horford's, I don't know. I'd give him like a 55, 60% chance because didn't he win a national title, Florida? I'm pretty sure he did. I don't know. Lou Williams, one of the greatest, I don't want to say one of the, he was a tremendous sixth man. You know, you agree with me. Brook Lopez, really good long. I'm pretty sure he's the Nets leading scorer still. And then Kevin Love, for obvious reasons, a Hall of Famer. So I don't know. Interesting to kind of spitball on that. Dwight and Melo are apparently the only two here, though, making it. Jersey retirements, you got, Blake Griffin retired. Blake Griffin is probably a Hall of Famer just with kind of the criteria to get into the Hall of Fame, as I've mentioned like 8 times now, but I think he'll probably get in. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an old man club. They just let anybody in. I'm going to bring back Mark. Obviously, we just went ahead and won a championship with Mark Daignault as our head coach. No reason to let him go elsewhere. Would love to have you back. All right, let's head up to the draft. We actually don't have our pick this year. I know that for a fact. I think I included it in a different trade. I don't know which one it was, but we don't have it. There's not going to be a lot changing about this team anyways. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to really bring back everybody. I mean, why the hell wouldn't I? In terms of bird rights here, it is definitely important for me to get everybody back. Claxton's actually unrestricted, so definitely got to make sure we get him back. I'm just going to qualify Anthony Edwards, because why the hell wouldn't I? And then I do want to get Cole Anthony back. We're just going to qualify him as well. So that's good. Do not renounce Precious Achiuwa. It is rare that this happens, and it probably isn't the best thing to do. But honestly, I'm just going to probably leave the team exactly the same way that it was. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but why force something that isn't broken? You know what I'm saying? So let's see if we can go back to back. And fresh off a championship and heading into our final season here in Oklahoma City, this is how the team is going to look. We have Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Mikal Bridges, Kristaps Porzingis, and Nick Claxton. The bench unit is still going to be led by Cole Anthony, Trey Murphy, Precious Achiuwa, Jaden Hardy, Anthony Black. Obviously, it's an identical team to last year. Didn't change anything 1 through 10, and it's fine. Typically, I do, but obviously, especially with this challenge being a no-trade finder challenge, it makes it harder. It takes up more time for a move that, albeit, is probably not even necessary. So we're leaving the team exactly identical. I think we have the same championship odds hopefully we can do another one. I'll see you guys at the end of the final year. Final season, here we go, 67-15. It is our best record yet, and I am hoping for another great result to end this season. It is the second MVP of this video for Luka Doncic. Isaiah Collier is your Rookie of the Year. Scoot Henderson, once again, sixth man. Anthony Davis is your DPOY, still in LA, just flips jerseys. Amen Thompson, most improved. Mark Dagnall, Coach of the Year. You do love to see it. All right, let's take a full look right now. We were 13 games up on the 2-seeded Sacramento Kings. That's great. And we were 10 games ahead of the Orlando Magic for the best record in all of basketball. I mean, it's just truly great. You truly do love to see it. Anthony Edwards obviously won a Finals MVP last year, already a superstar, really just kind of solidifying his case this season. Obviously, the scoring on Bridges was it fucked up last year? Probably shouldn't even notice. Yeah. I mean, his shot tendency is just weird in this game. I hope they update it for 2K24. Him and a lot of other guys. I mean, there's a lot of problems with like kind of some of like, I don't want to call them like characters. They're not characters, but like, I guess the player builds for a lot of these players, because there's a lot of guys that have screwed up shot tendencies. We've all known that for years. Bridges is just an example just because he's on this team right now. There's a lot of guys that have really, really bad regression. Paul George, DeMar DeRozan, Bradley Beal, like guys in that category who are still playing at a pretty high level, they tend to regress weirdly quickly. So that's something I hope they fix. I don't know why I'm going on this rant right now, just kind of off the top of my head. And is it fixed? Probably not. Let's be honest with each other. We've been asking for it for years, and they don't really ever fix too much about my NBA, my league, whatever you want to call it. So that's just my 2 cents. Let's get into the playoffs. Here's a look at the Clippers. CJ McCollum, another guy that regresses like crazy. Jaden Ivey, Brandon Miller, Nasir Little, Anthony Davis. Get Klay Thompson coming off the bench. Let's see what ends up happening here in the first round. It's a pretty good team. We win in 5. We're moving on to the Houston Rockets. Sexton, Simons, Buzelis, Zion, Onyeka Okongwu. All right, Zion is very, very scary. Obviously, I don't play with injuries on. The man has to play the damn game. So, yeah, but we are up 3-1. We win in 5. And we're going to be taking on the Sacramento Kings, a team we've faced before, a team we have beat before. I believe this is the first year they've had RJ Barrett. Nope, they've had him the whole time. I just must have missed it. I don't know. We sweep them. Beautiful. All right, we're in the finals, and we're taking on Lonzo Ball in the Charlotte Hornets. DeJounte Barnes, Evan Mobley's here. Okay, you got Barnes and Mobley, two probably the better rookies from this 2021 class. Scotty Barnes had an interesting season last year, but I think Mobley's going to be really good for a long time. But it's a good team. I mean, I'm just excited to see what ends up happening here. I think we're better. I don't know that for a fact. I'm hoping 2K proves it. We're up 3-1. Make that 3-2. We win in 6. And Kristaps Porzingis is your Finals MVP this year. Porzingis, now a member of my Celtics. I wouldn't be mad if he ended up winning a Finals MVP. I'd love it to be one of the Jays, either Tatum or Brown. But you know what? If Porzingis gets a Finals MVP, it means my team won a championship. I wouldn't be complaining. But in all serious note, yeah, this has been great. I really enjoyed this rebuild. Obviously, as I mentioned, it's not the hardest challenge in the world. And with the end cycle of 2K23 and pretty much every 2K for that matter, we don't really do anything insane in terms of hard challenges. They're kind of just fun, laid-back videos. Shoot the shit on this past season of 2K and looking forward to the next one. So, yeah, man, tomorrow will be the final rebuild of 2K23. Again, I kind of do the same thing every year, so you probably know relatively what it's going to be, but if not, you'll see tomorrow. But, yeah, man, thank you guys again for another year. I'll do a little bit more of a thank you probably tomorrow. But, yeah, man, this was a fun year, and, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, let me know who you want me to rebuild first in 2K24, because I still don't know and have not yet decided. So, that wraps this one up. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.